Smitty, you owe us a water bet for the intro. Woo! They were good, they were gold, cup and staff now can't be sold. They were right till they weren't. Marv just smashed them and watched them burn. I don't want to see it, I don't want to fight. Smitty started to cry when he remembered Arizona drafted a car. His name is Mr. Maserati Marv. Outscored 9 and dime all by himself. K1 is now dancing with Marv in the sand. Nobody can love Marv like I can. Boom. Welcome into the Fantasy BS show. Sorry, bad intro. We'll make it work next time. But hey, welcome in. It's September 18th, Wednesday night. We're recording. We'll try to drop this tonight or Thursday morning. Smitty, how you doing, man? How was last week? How you feeling about things?
Dude, week 2 was absolutely brutal for me. I am overexposed with Matthew Stafford and Cup, and my goodness, I pretty much lost in every league except for those leagues where I had the K1 and MHJ stack. That saved me in a couple of places.
That was so good to see. As an Arizona fan, winning a water bet that we made
Ah,
for the Rams losing and watching Marv do that, that was done. Seconds into the game, man, we were done. Marv was going crazy. But you know what? Here's the deal. Thoughts of the week. I'm sick of injuries.
mm,
We got about 60% of the total points scored through 2 weeks than we've had in a long time. Points are low. We're going to get into injuries as we go along. We're going to do these matchups, talk a little bit about players, who we're trading for, what's some advice. Now, let's talk about dynasty advice right off the show before we get into here. Man, I have been selling J.K. Dobbins all over the place. I've been selling Jordan Mason all over the place. I will tell you that I play in incredibly smart leagues. You can get first for running back still, everybody. I can promise you that. Be creative with it. You can get first. Smitty, you've been watching me get first lefts and right in leagues, and I'm sure you're like, how the hell is he getting first rounders for running backs?
I mean, honestly, like there's a league where I have Jordan Mason and I desperately need it first. So I don't know. I do love his production, but Smart Money says sell that man because he really, at the end of the day, is a rental to a beast, by the way. So sell, sell, sell.
You have to. So process. We speak process. You have to stick to your process. The reality is, most of my teams, I don't actually need Jordan Mason right now. What I need is who Jordan Mason is the last 4 weeks of the season, not weeks,
Yeah.
1 through 6. If CMC actually doesn't come back, maybe he's out for the rest of the year. You know what? I probably lost value on the trade, but you do enough process with that. J.K. Dobbins is the top 5 running back right now. People want running backs. They want points out of there. So get these old backs that are people will somehow give you a first for in some weird trade. Like, I gave Jordan Mason, which it was a great trade for the other team, but I gave Jordan Mason for I took a first rounder and I gave back Jordan Mason in a third. And this is a total rebuild team. I have no reason to have that man on there. If you have either one of those on a rebuild team, you're foolish if they're not gone by Sunday, even if you take less than you want. Get them off of there before you get an injury.
Fully agree with that.
Yeah, you done any trades this week? I've seen a few go down with you.
Oh,
Saw
you
Travis
know what?
Etienne went
Okay,
in
here's
there.
one. Here's one that I traded away Travis Etienne, who is, let's be honest, still kind of young and somewhat exciting. I traded away him in a third for Tony Pollard in a second. True told, in that league, I had no liquidity, so I need to find a way to get something. And I'm happy with a second because, like I said, I have nothing. So a second is like gold to me. So if I have to tear down from Travis Etienne to Pollard, who's hot right now, don't see that lasting, really. If I can get a second out of that, then I'm pretty smooth. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just happy I'm getting liquidity. And now I'm gonna start thinking about, okay, well, who else can I tear down? How else can I tear down? That's the name of the game at this point.
Are you competing in that league or are you going for a rebuild?
Okay. I am competing, but I have a lot of injuries that really, like, realistically will take me to bottom six if I'm being really honest with myself. So it's a competitive team, but it's falling apart.
Good news is you can get a second for Tony Pollard right
Oh,
now.
wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Stack them seconds. I hear you. Okay.
You know what? It's
I
about
love
what you
that
can
play.
do with those picks later on. You know me, like I don't like those aging vets. But if you Pollard's going to smash for a little bit here, we'll see. But the backfield's his. Tajay's injured right now. Tajay hasn't been a part of that offense. It's been all Tony Pollard. So I like the trade a lot. We got Tank Bigsby coming up with Travis Etienne. We'll see what that looks like. He's been banged up. They got Dearness Johnson touching the ball a lot last
Oh
week.
my
So
goodness.
I'm really disappointed in the Trevor Lawrence offense right now. I thought this was going to be a level up year, but there's nothing that's saying level up at all in there. I mean, I'm fine getting out of that. I like those trades. I
All
like
right.
those trades
Well,
big
thank you.
time.
Uh, I liked getting the liquidity. That actually felt good to me for once.
Yeah. Can I tell you about my bonehead move of the week?
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
I I didn't do a process trade, Smitty. I had somebody in the Rumble send me an offer for a third round for Parkinson last Sunday because Evan Ingram went out. And I turned it down. And I turned it down because the other team's my biggest competitor. And I was like, you know what? I want to put an L on your team. And that team ended up going out and winning. And I'm like, I would kill for a third rounder for Parkinson right now. All right,
Dude,
let's get into the matchups. None of the fluff, none of the BS. We're going to start. Let me get the week pulled up here. Let's start with the Thursday game. We got week 3. Boom. Hit me out of Patriots, Jets. What are we doing with these teams? I got to tell you, Justin Jefferson, Jettas said it really well the other day that G. Willie is not him.
yeah.
And I agree. And you know what? I think G. Willie can go out there and make spectacular catches, but he is not Justin Jefferson. There is so much of a tier difference between those two. Rodgers looked a lot better last week. I think we should start investing into this team a little bit. I think they're going to take a couple, maybe another game or so to get going. But maybe it is a good time to go buy G. Willie. What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm all in on that play. I say if you still have Lazard and anyone's still trying to buy it, sell him for whatever you can get. I'm not mad at a third. I'm really not. Um, and is Lazard part of the offense? Of course. But there's also, dude, there's too many receivers in that team that's like definitely not going to be worth anything. Like Malachi Corley, I don't think that's worth anything. I went heavy on Gibson. I'm starting to drop that boy everywhere. Like it's too many receivers that seem like they're valuable, but it's really just a G Willie show at this point. If we're talking receivers.
I think on teams that have a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position,
Hmm.
I think you need to go find a way to get Mike Williams on your team. And listen,
Oh.
don't get too hyped at what I'm saying because I don't think this is going to be a 10, 11 game smash.
Hmm.
But what is very apparent when I watch this team play is Aaron Rodgers wants another target other than G Willie to throw the ball to. And that very well is going to be Mike Williams when he comes back. So I see some good games when he's healthy. And maybe you can fit that kind of 2 week gap until Cooper Cup. Maybe you get that, or you got Puka on your team, or who knows? Maybe you need a
Yeah.
flex because Pacheco went out. Like he's cheap enough that you may as well take a shot at him right now because this offense is going to get better. It's definitely going to get better. Are
I mean,
you
they got the
you going to
line
go
for it.
by the backup running back right now? Was it Braylon Allen, right?
Yeah, Braylon Allen, honestly, did he look fantastic? Yes. Is he everything we hoped and dreamed? Yes. But is he Brees Hall? No. No. And, I think the smart move is to sell off of that 2 touchdown game. Oh, my goodness. People are thinking this is the next Jordan Mason when if Brees goes down. And yeah, he probably does have that type of value. Just I mean, Breeze is gonna get locked up. Like they're about to pay that man because they can put the offense on his back if need be. So I say the play is definitely to sell Braylon Allen.
I'd be buying. I'd be a
Really?
buyer. Yeah, I would because I think I see where this future is going at some point. It's not that Brees Hall's not going to be in the office. Don't get me wrong, but I do think someone else is going to get touches. But I actually want to sell Brees Hall. I want to tear down for
Ooh,
Brees
what a
Hall.
play. Okay.
I really do. And you know what? Even if I'm in a win now, and the tear down would be in a win now team. If I'm not in a win now team, I'm not tearing down. I'm just selling.
Hmm.
But if I can get James Conner on my team plus for Brees Hall, Sign me up because I really believe you can get that done for a first, maybe with that, or a couple seconds, or another player. But that's the type of tear down I'm looking from Brees Hall. Um, I always just want to get rid of these elite running backs. It's very rare that you see an elite running back on my squad because I want to put that into my wide receiver position or my QB positions. But Brees Hall's an asset. You can do whatever you want. People will pay. You can tier up with them. I just think it's smart that you start looking at that. Obviously, you need running backs. If you don't have any running backs, then you know what? Maybe you can take him and put him into two backs. Maybe you can get James Conner, J.K. Dobbins, and make a run with it. Maybe.
I kind of love this advice. I really do.
Yeah. What are you doing with the Patriots though? So I'm really not starting any Patriots this week against the Jets. You're going to be forced to plug Ramondre into your lineup because if you have him, you don't have other options probably. But outside of Ramondre, I'm going to fade this game. I might fade this game except for Brees Hall and G Willie.
The end. And you know what? Honestly, if Polk has another garbage game, time to buy. Time to buy. Like I want to start. Someone will be offended, but I don't want to start the conversation with a third. If this game in particular, Patriots versus Jet, if that game is bad, which it should be, then I'm gonna start trying to buy Polk. Oh, and Baker, oh my goodness. I mean, I don't know if Javon Baker's like even worth buying, but I want to buy Polk.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I actually have bought him in a couple leagues.
Oh, sick.
Reason being, at some point, someone has to be the wide receiver one there.
Hmm.
And, I know that they're 1-1. I know they had a surprise victory, but the reality is Drake May is going to be in this offense sooner rather than later. It's not going to be good for the wide receivers this year, but I do think that's a stash because they're going to, I mean, and Polk is that guy. They'll probably get a true one next year, but I
Hmm.
think he'll fit into the wide receiver two role and maybe you can get some games out of it. But he'll have a little insulation on his value for at least the next 24 months, I think, where you might be able to move him in some other part of a trade. But yep, I'm fading him. I think you're right. Go after one of the wide receivers. You going after Gibson? You do anything like that? I'm not.
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
not at all. This game's
yeah.
kind of ugly, honestly.
So we preach any running back on a 53 man roster. I'm not sure I actually feel that with the Patriots. I think I'd rather have backups on other teams right now. Let's get into what I think I want to say is my game I'm looking forward to this week because it is the Lions versus Cards at home. Oh, by the way, that Patriots Jets game has an implied total of 38 and a half points. Smitty, that's horrible. But Lions Cardinals, we got a 51 and a half point implied points for the game. Detroit's favored by 3. This is going to be an interesting game. One of these teams is going to come out, we're saying, is much better than we thought that they were, or much worse than we thought that they were. Now, who do you have winning this game? This is in Arizona.
Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly, briefly recap what the Cardinals has done. They basically beat the Bills. I don't care what no one says. The Cardinals beat the Bills, smoked the Rams. Lions, I mean, they just lost to the Bucks, and they lost to, if it wasn't for a coin flip, they would have lost to the Rams. I think, honestly, on paper, the Cardinals are going to have their way with the Lions, especially that backfield, which I mean, especially the secondary, which is coming together, but it's not there yet. So this is a clear and away Cardinal victory to me.
Yeah, I don't bet, but if I did, I'd take Cardinals in the 3 points.
Ooh, okay, all right, yeah, I
Yeah,
totally agree with that. And it's not really anything against the Lions. It's just that defense isn't ready.
I agree. Go by James Conner. This is legit. He's going to be exactly what you want, a floor running back with RB1 potential every week. I mean, what else do you want? I don't care about his age. This offense is just getting cooking right now.
Hmm.
I'm firing up Trey McBride. Look, Trey McBride had a really good week last week because of a recovered fumble in the end zone, which whatever. He's involved. He looks like the real deal. I've been watching all the tight ends this year. Something about the way the man plays the game. He's got a George Kittle in him.
Yeah, well, that's annoying to George Kittle. I love that. I love that for McBride as well. Um, dude, are you?
You can buy him cheaper than you could have at the beginning of the season right now.
Oh
I
yeah,
think you can.
oh yeah. You know what? You know what I would honestly do though? McBride and Laporta, I would try to find a way to turn either of those guys into Brock Bowers. I don't know how, but I'm willing to. You know, maybe not so much McBride because I think he's gonna be competitive and maybe even rival Brock Bowers because I feel like their roles for that offense or each other's offenses is kind of similar maybe. Um, but Laporta though, if we're talking on the other side of the ball, I am willing to find a way to turn Laporta into Brock Bowers. I don't know how yet, but try to figure that out. Could be
I I would turn Laporta into Bowers as well. I think it's a good tear down. You're going to get a plus in it no matter which way you strike that
wrong.
deal. There'll be a plus in there. I don't know if I'm going to turn Trey McBride into Bowers right now because I think he's going to be the clear two in the passing game there. You know, we were big on Michael Wilson, but I do think he's going to be the two. The emergence of JMO is really putting a thorn in the side of Sam Laporta right now, dude.
I
And they
really didn't
still
see
want to
this
run the
coming, bro.
football.
I thought Sam would be the safest of them all, but boy was I wrong.
It has not been good for tight ends at the start of this year, but Jamo's target share. Look, it wasn't the game he had week one. He had double digit targets, or it was not. It was either nine or double digits. He's getting the football. He's getting targets. Um, I'm buying into the hype. I'm buying into the hype. I think he's going to be the second option on this team, and quite frankly, he's been the first. That's the scary part. Sun God got into it last week, but JMO is a read that Goff really likes right now, and I think you can go get Goff. I think people might, smart players will be patient on him because of the talent around them, but maybe there's somebody that just says, "Man, Goff sucks this year." That's not going to happen all year.
I agree. A lot of dome games, a lot of indoor games. He typically strives in those games. It just, I don't know. It's a slow start for those Lions, man. But it's not a slow start for JMO. I'd love to find a way to acquire. I have a question for you. Do you think it's worth it to find a way to turn Marvin Harrison into a JJ?
Nope.
You say
I
he's
think I think you go buy Marv now before he has JJ Price tag on him.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, and we're going to go over the next game, which is going to be the Giants, and I'll start talking about it now. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors, they need to be thought of as Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
Yes,
possible price 12 to
yes.
24 months down the line that you can get at 70% of their cost right now. That's something I'm looking at doing. I would actually be looking at possibly tearing the other direction off of Jamar Chase into Marvin Harrison or possibly Justin Jefferson into Marvin Harrison. And
Now,
that's straight process. And it depends on roster construction, but I would give it some thought.
you know what's so funny? My one and only Justin Jefferson share. I was just so hyped on Marvin. I did try to pull that off, but that was tough. Now I might try to find a way. I love that. I love that advice.
The talent's there. And you've
Hmm.
seen it with Malik. Look, we saw one game from Marv, but we've seen it with Malik Neighbors for multiple weeks now. He's a target machine. He's got everything you want in a wide receiver. He's got a Daniel Jones problem, which is going to come with a discount tag. But I promise you, in the realm of dynasty, another quarterback will be there. Either Daniel Jones is going to figure it out or they're going to give it another run at somebody else. I don't know who it's going to be, but I want to invest in. But I'm investing in Marv because of the quarterback right now more than Neighbors. But I want them both, and I'm okay tearing down right now. These guys are going to have good rookie years.
Fully agreed.
Yeah. Now on to the Giants Browns game.
Mm.
Oh, good lord. Definitely firing in the Browns defense if you play in a league with defense. I'm firing up Malik Neighbors. I'm firing up Jerome Ford, even though I don't like the matchup against the D line. I just think you're going to be forced to put Ford in there. But I do think we might think about going to buy Jerome Ford as well. There's been some tough matchups to get going in the year, and he's been okay. But I think that's a perfect running back for a squad like mine, and I would be willing to invest into that. Take a young receiver with some potential, not first round draft pick wide receiver for 2024 class, but maybe something from the 2023 class, and try to get a piece on top of it. We talked about JSN a lot. JSN went and balled out this week. Um, I'd be looking at sending JSN plus JSN again, Jerome Ford in a piece. Um,
Whoa. Wow. I love it. I love it. It's just you don't see that being sticky, and I deep down I don't either. I love that call.
Yeah, I don't know. maybe I have bias because that's what I've always felt,
Hmm.
but I don't know. Maybe you can sell that one game. He had a really good game. I think it was like 22 fantasy points somewhere in there. But who are you starting? Who are you fading here? Because I mean, Amari Cooper. Are you playing Amari Cooper? Are
Dude,
you playing Jerry Judy, who did okay last week?
I
Um,
actually am very willing to. I'm willing to flex Mark Cooper, and honestly, if he has a 15, yeah, no, no, no. If he, I mean, because the Giants' defense is so bad, if he manages to have a 20 piece, like a 20-point game, please get a second or whatever you can for him because the window with Amari Cooper it seems like it's never ever open. So if he just has a great game, please use that window and get him out of here.
yeah, Deshaun Watson looked
Yeah,
better,
you get the
not
thank
good,
goodness.
better last week. But I think you're going to have a window to sell Amari Cooper or Jerry Judy here. They're getting some targets, and David Njoku's going to be on his way back. And I actually see David Njoku being the target leader in that offense when he comes back, just by nature of how they ran it week one while he was there. So I would look for some value for those. If I can get Amari Cooper off my team right now, I'd be very happy.
Mm.
Um, Amari Cooper's, if he's on any of my squads, which he's not, I got rid of him at the end of last year, but he would be a wide receiver 4 or 5. And that's just, I don't want that. I just rather the pick, have the liquidity, and then go buy something down the road.
With actual value. Yep, I love that play.
Mhm. Got to have liquidity. We're going to keep preaching it. All right, man. That's cool. Packers Titans. Jordan Love may or may not be back. Jaden Reed may or may not play. Um, I don't know who I'm starting. I said it was Jaden Reed last week because they were going to manufacture touches. They did
Uh-huh.
manufacture touches, and then Dontario Wicks gets the damn touchdown. Um, if Malik Willis is playing in this game, they're going to run the ball another 30 times for Josh Jacobs. I'm firing in Josh Jacobs. Um, Titans hard. I'm just staying away from the Titans minus Pollard.
Yeah, no, you know what? This is I'm actually really kind of hoping for a great game from Pollard because of, Packers just not doing too well against the run. And if homeboy if homeboy Pollard does have a good game, oh my goodness, what can we sell him for? There's a lot of plays. I mean, you might even be able to get into Kamara, maybe. I mean, just like aim that direction if he has a great game, which he should.
Kamara is expensive.
Kamara is expensive. Okay, so maybe like a Mixon might be a little more lateral. I don't know. I really do feel like we can aim up. We can aim up if he has a good game here because then it's going to kind of look consistent of Pollard's work. And I don't know, Pollard's like one of the most perfect sells.
So Pollard has a good game. JSN Pollard for Joe Mixon.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That just it would be hard for me to turn that down if I was a Mixon owner. It would be difficult. I would be like it feels like an auto accept really, but you would rather have Mixon at the end of the day. So
I would. I
that's
would
just
want to see him
crazy.
back healthy before I did the trade,
Hmm.
but it's apparent they don't have a lot of talent in that backfield other than him, and they're just going to ride him until they can't. Um, but yeah, I'd look at that range of wide receiver or even I mean, I would much rather have Mixon than Pollard rest of year.
For
So
sure.
I'm willing to pay up to get that. But if Jordan Love comes back healthy, I'm firing up everybody in this matchup.
Yes. Yes, if our golden boy returns. Oh, I can't wait. Because, yeah, then I would feel so comfortable putting Dobbs in the lineup. I don't know. It's just, I don't ever look Dobbs way unless Love is there. What if okay, let's say Love was to like go on IR for 4 games, and then they get somebody capable like Ryan Tannehill. I still wouldn't be confident starting Dobbs. So I'm just, I really do hope he's back. Love. I hope
No,
Jordan Love is back.
if Jordan Love isn't in the game, it's only Jaden Reed for me and nobody else when he's healthy. Um, I think people need to start thinking about tearing down off the tier one and tier two quarterbacks to Jordan Love. We've seen it enough. We saw it week one. We saw it at the end of last year. This is an elite quarterback with elite options and a really good offensive scheme. I would definitely. I mean, if it's a 6 point passing touchdown, I'm tearing off of Lamar Jackson. The conversation of Jordan Love versus A Rich on who's better is over. It's
I was
Jordan
waiting for
Love.
that. I was waiting for that.
It's over. It's Jordan Love. But
So,
anybody above that, if I can take someone above that, get Jordan Love in a piece, I'm doing that process trade all day long. Jaden Reed got really expensive. You know, if you listen to the podcast, he was already on your team for a lot cheaper price. But the Debo role in the NFL,
Mm.
that is what Reed is doing. And I'm not saying he's going to do the running back gig the way Debo does, but it's the Yak offensive scheme, the slants, the way they're running and manufacturing touches for Yak. That's what Jaden Reed is to this football, and he can stretch the field as well. So he's doing it all. He's their one. I don't care what anybody says. He is the one of that team. It's not they don't have three ones, but Romeo Dobbs is going to get his he's going to get his red zone looks. He's worth putting some money into if you need somebody in a few weeks. I definitely think that. Bears Colts, better matchup to talk about because Packers Titans only had 37.5 point implied total. That's not a game I want to get people into. But Colts Bears 43.5, not a juggernaut of a game. What are you doing with A Rich? What are you doing?
I'm
I
out.
I
I'm sorry. I'll take whatever. No, it's not even like it's a sell high actually. It's a sell as high as you can. Now, might be tough because of last week. So, and you got a Bears defense. Oh boy. He's bound to do a little bit better than last week, but I'm I'm not I don't like it. I really don't. I don't even like stacking with him. Oh, I will say this though. Pierce is getting sticky. That might be a Downs thing, so I have to see him with Downs, but Pierce is getting sticky.
Downs is
Yeah.
back, baby.
Oh, okay.
Downs going to stretch the field. I think you need to go buy A Rich after this game. I think
Okay.
he's going to be just fine. Scares me. Don't worry. He scares me because he really has trouble throwing the football. But I'm buying him right now. I'm still a believer. I would like to try to tear down if I could, for sure. But I want to go get him. I want to go get Josh Downs because it is very apparent that A Rich is going to just throw the football 50 yards down the field a lot. And I think that's the Josh Downs role. I do not think it's the Alec Pierce role. So I want to go invest in that. AD Mitchell still is growing, but I really think Josh Downs is going to have a big thing in a big target share when he gets back. But what are we doing with Michael Pittman? Oh my gosh. We talked about him last week. Um, his value is plummeted.
It is. I'd say sell him before he gets to that Amari Cooper side, and until he gets into that Amari Cooper role. Because man, I see him going down that path. I see it going. I see it happening quickly too. Um, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I'm even a little worried about JT actually. Just some. I don't know, dude. I've been very excited for this Shane Steichen offense, and it's not. It's just. It's not running the way I thought it would. If I'm being honest. So I'm
I would
just in a
relax.
sell mode. Say what?
I'd take a deep breath in on it. I'd
Okay.
relax.
All
I
right.
mean, at
Okay.
least I think I'm heavily invested into A Rich, so obviously I might be a little biased there, but I think the offense will be okay. I really do. But the Bears,
Oh, gross.
Caleb Williams. Look, I've seen in chats, is Caleb Williams a bust? God Lord, get out of here. This is going to be the game that Caleb Williams steps up. I'm going to
Oh,
fire up Roma Doomsday. I'm going to fire up DJ Moore. I'm going to fire up Caleb Williams into a lineup if I have to. Obviously, look at your tiers. You'll know if you have a stud. But if you're looking at, a mid-range quarterback, I think this is a good game to go put Caleb in. He's going to ball at some point. This just seems like a good game to do that for me.
it's a bad move to like base analysis off of little things like this, but when Stroud was at the end of the game, when Stroud was trying to like give him some like real advice, it seemed like Caleb could care less, and that bothers me honestly. Like he's in no position. Oh yes, you were picked in the one number all, but you're looking like you were picked in the second round. And with that being the case, like you have to really sit there and respect C.J. Stroud, and at least hear the man's advice. And C.J. was really trying to give him. He was like really trying to like preach to the man, but he looked very uninterested, and that bothers me. So I don't know. It's gonna be a while before I can respect him.
I think he was sad. So
Oh,
the
here we go
play
with this.
that the
Yeah.
right guard literally didn't even block the guy at the end of that football game, and Caleb just got annihilated. Caleb got it. I mean, he got annihilated all football game. I think he was just done. I like the swagger. I like the swagger. I like the confidence. I get it. I like. I think this is going to be the pivotal point where it's like, oh yeah, oh these Bears will be okay. You know, they're not going to be a really good football team, but they're going to have fantasy assets here, and people are already thinking they're dead. Um, the Roma Dooms at Caleb Williams stack moving forward will be just fine in Dynasty, dude. In redraft, you probably should kick yourself for drafting him, but I
Yeah,
would
I was
fire
one of
him up.
those guys.
Yeah.
But
Would you try to go get Rome right now and redraft?
no, not now, not now. But honestly, he probably won't get any cheaper, especially after this game here. God, I wouldn't even know how to price him. I'm a guy with Roman. I don't even know what I would value him. Like it's gotta be it's gotta be wide receiver too, but it's tough to even view him as one. It really is.
I would go get him. Rookie wide receiver will figure it out. But I want to ask you a question on Michael Pittman real quick because I
Okay.
forgot to ask you this. Can you turn Michael Pittman into T. Higgins right now? Because I would like to do that if I had Michael Pittman.
I feel like that's a pretty easy move, especially with the TB now. Yeah, by that injury. What I don't even know what it is. Yeah, I think it could be done just because of the injury alone. I think that's actually a great, savvy little move.
T. Higgins is a better wide receiver with a better
Amen.
quarterback, at least for throwing purposes. Texans Vikings. I'm pumped to watch this game. Sam Darnold's balling. It ain't going to be rest of the year. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I mean, he's going to be a serviceable quarterback, but he's not going to be an elite quarterback like he's showing. Jettis is a little bit injured. Nico's a little bit injured. Popped up on the training or the injury report today. But I am literally firing up any and all players in here. Um, Look at I realize if you have Sam Darnold on your team, you probably have a better quarterback to start this week. He'd be the one that I probably wouldn't start, but I'm firing them all up. I'm not hesitating anything here, and I'm sure as hell going to try buy Tank Dell. I'm sending out. I've been spamming offers for Tank Dell all day.
Oh,
I'm
really
hoping when
good
I
one.
get off this pod that I have a few accepted. Um, Tank Dell is getting targets, but CJ Stroud just somehow every bad throw he's had all year somehow it's a Tank Dell, which just makes no sense to me. But they're going to figure that out. Tank's explosive. Steph Diggs, look, he's got a spot on. I'd be selling Steph Diggs right now, big time.
Oh boy, that is a tough.
Dynasty.
Yeah. Like just for picks. I'm trying to figure out where could you go. Ooh.
I'd look for a running back that could be serviceable for me.
Okay, I like that move. I like that move a lot, actually. I like that move. Yeah, I think that's a good play. I know it's hard. It's probably impossible, but if you could pair like a first plus digs for Rome, I don't think the Rome manager would take that, but see if that will get a conversation going.
That opens up a conversation.
Yeah,
We're going to need to tweak that, but that opens up a conversation. If I'm in rebuild, I'm not doing that. If I'm like, I got a team in the Rumble, and I'm like, man, Rome, this team's going to smash. When's Rome going to enter my lineup here? I might think about that and use that first as liquidity to go buy something that I need.
mm.
Right? As we roll into the playoffs. Um, so Steph Diggs or Tank Dell rest of season in redraft.
Oh, I for sure say tank. I mean, it's tough, but I really do think at the end of the day, Stroud loves Dell. Dell loves Stroud. I just think you can't really beat that mind meld.
They're
I
best
mean, it's
friends.
rocky now for sure, but I think it's good. It'll be fine.
They're best friends, and that boy's got the flyest hair in the NFL right
Oh
now.
my
So
God,
he's going
right?
to go out and ball. So yeah, just fire up everybody you can in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, DeAndre Swift.
Ooh.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Uh, I mean, God, what could you even say? Yeah, if you can get a second, congrats. The pod thinks you're a master trader, but I'm okay with getting thirds and getting out of there. Honestly, and dude, Naylor is kind of getting sticky for the Vikings. What do you think? Like, if there's an injury to Jefferson or to Addison, I'm okay with flexing Naylor. I think at this point, I mean, come on, you please have better options, but if you're just down bad, that's not the ugliest move to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stud running backs at your build, like maybe you get some spot starts out of them. If Jettas goes down, I am probably going to be completely out on this offense because that takes Sam Darnold out of the equation for being decent, I think. Um, but go get yourself some Jettas in your life. Eagles Saints. Wow, did the Eagles blow a lead? Saints look absolutely impressive. I easily see the Eagles being 1-2 after this. We got a 49.5 point implied point total with New Orleans at 2.5% favored. I mean, who aren't you starting here? I mean, you're starting everybody. Derek Carr should be, I mean, obviously the DFS play of the week with his stacks. I mean, you're starting everybody. But
Hopefully.
is this a game that Chris Olave goes off? I'm still trying to go out and buy Chris Olave, and I'm not getting any managers that are worried about him right now.
Oh my goodness. I am so out. I mean, well, I was so out until this freaking renaissance here. I'm just wondering what's. I think Olave's gonna have a great game. I think he actually might be a top 12 receiver of the week. I really see that as a possibility. Um, and Shaheed, oh my God, he is permanent top 24 until this renaissance falls apart. But I think Shaheed is like one of the key pieces to this offense doing so well. And you can just really have your way with that Eagles defense. I mean, Kirk Cousins was on a bean. I couldn't believe it. In the fourth quarter, though. Throughout the game, didn't look too great. Dude, on the Eagles side of the ball, though, I am starting to fall. Hurts was my MVP. I thought he was going to be the MVP this year. He's not. He's not getting it done in the air. He's not. I don't know what that's about. I think Kellen Moore is forcing him to throw more, and it's just it's it feels forced. It's coming off as forced, and it's not quite working out. And then plus he lost AJ Brown. I don't know. I just don't. I just want to take back my Hurts being MVP statement. I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't either. Um, I don't really like I mean, look, they had an explosive first week. Saquon looks incredible. Hertz looks like he'll be just fine, but that step to the elite Patrick Mahomes level, I just don't see that right now. But if I can get out on Jalen Hurts and I can go down to a quarterback that we were talking about earlier, let me pull.
Love.
Yeah, if I can go down to Love from Hertz, like I'm in because you should be able to get that with a piece. But here's a trade I was trying to do for Olave, and
Ooh.
this trade got rejected. But I think this is a trade that you should be able to get done in leagues. I was surprised it got rejected. But this is a manager who's in win now mode and I'm in rebuild mode, and he lost CMC, so I offered him Jordan Mason, JSN, and a third round draft pick for Chris Olave and Jordan Travis, and I got that rejected, and I was like, how did you reject that, dude?
I'm sorry. Why Jordan? Why Jordan Travis? Why did you throw Jordan Travis in there?
Because I have committed to the rebuild. I sold Bryce Young. I sold Will Levis. I sold everybody. My only quarterback is K1, and I have Drake May. And I actually think that he might learn from Aaron Rodgers. And um, I don't know. It was a throwing piece, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just shooting for the moon here. It's a throwing piece.
no, it's so funny. I'm like, oh, dude, Jason in the third. That's a perfect move for week after week two. Then you say Travis. I'm sorry, it just threw me off. If anything, um, and you
That's
know
what I
what?
was saying.
I do
Did
wonder
did
what's the
did
issue.
Travis mess this trade up? Because that should get Olave. It should get Olave, dude. And this was before week 2, by the way.
Oh, this was before week two. Oh, okay. Dude, try it again with the. Try it
All right,
again
hold on,
with
hold
a
on, hold
different.
on. I'm gonna hit modify. Oh no, I already traded Mason in that league. Never mind. I got a first for him in that league now. I can't even do it now.
Fire. No, that's
All
such a
right.
good move.
So fire up everybody.
Oh,
Everybody.
dude.
Just
Oh, and Saquon is a big buy. I don't know how. You know what? I don't know if they're gonna lock him up to next year. They should. I think he is exactly what the Eagles need, especially if Hurts want to practice throwing. So that's so rude. Especially if Hurts wants to throw more. So yeah, I'd be trying to buy. That is like a top tier guy I'm looking for. I would even try to find a way to turn JT into Saquon Barkley. I mean, God, you're gonna have to pay up, but that's a move I would like to do.
I
Breeze,
agree with that one.
say what?
I agree with that. So I'm going to give a tip of the week. I wasn't planning on doing it here, but we talk about liquidity and how to use it. We talk about all these players and all these running backs that we want to try to add onto our squad, before something happens, like before they move to a team in the off season or, before the hype starts happening. But once you get into the season, I have said this many times. I am not afraid to overpay in the season for the direction my team's going. And right now, Saquon Barkley does look like a league winner for me. And a league winner, I'm willing to pay that price. And this is why we need first rounders, because you could take somebody. Yeah, I'd much rather have Saquon than JT right now. I wouldn't want to really just cash in all my liquidity to make that move. But if I've got 3 first rounders and I'm like, hey, here's JT in a first, give me Saquon. Or I hate to keep picking on JSN, but why not? Here's JT and JSN. But those are things that I'm wanting to do. Alvin Kamara, go buy him. Go buy him. If he stays healthy, he is a league winning running back that can go get you 4 touchdowns in a game. James Cook, shown it. They're going to run the football a lot. I'm not afraid to overpay for those players. I won't do it until the season starts and I see it. But why not, right? Why not?
Yeah, I fully agree. Fully agree.
All right, Chargers Steelers. Implied total 35.5 points. Yay.
No, that's
Um,
this game, bro.
Chargers are playing some good defense. I can't believe both of these teams are 2-0.
I can't wait to see
Justin
one of them.
Fields is playing. Um, oh my gosh. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, we're starting the running backs. I'm still trying to avoid the passing game of the Chargers. I'm starting George Pickens. I'm actually going to buy George Pickens. I really like what I'm seeing on the field.
I was just about to say he's a quiet buy, but my question is Fields a quiet buy because he's looking pretty tragic. Like I'm not liking what I'm seeing, but for some reason they're not giving Russ the like. I'm not even hearing anything about Russ being injured. Honestly, I'm just hearing, "Hey, Fields is him. We got him now. Like he's just gonna keep playing." Like that's is he really about to start the whole season? Because if that's the case, that's not a terrible quarterback 3 to have. I mean, if he steps up, right?
Yeah, if you need a quarterback, I mean, I do think he's a buy. What I really want to see is where Justin Fields becomes an elite producer for fantasy points is when
Mm.
they are behind by a fair amount of points or a lot. That's what I want to see. And the problem is this team is not allowing that right now. They're playing very conservative ball. They're making sure they don't get down. Their defense is elite. Um, until they start picking up the pace of that play, um, go buy Justin Fields. They're gonna eventually start being down in football games.
Yeah, at some point. At some point, it may even be this week. Yeah. So, dude, Herbert might be a little solid low buy. I mean, I think he's banged up a little bit, but uh,
Yeah, if
I,
I'm
I don't
rebuilding, I'm
really know what
buying.
to say
I'm
about
buying
Herbert.
Herbert.
Oh, you're out. Okay.
No. If I'm in a rebuild mode, I'm buying Herbert.
Oh,
Hundred
for a
percent.
rebuild. Oh, I
He will
love
not be cheaper 12 months from now. He will be more expensive than he is right now. He fits the mold for a rebuild team where, you know, I could take a quarterback and get the points off my bench, and if it's a max PF league, and
that.
get Herbert in there. Hopefully, he underscores them. But those are the quiet moves that I'm trying to make on rebuilding teams and taking a shot at it. Um, I like what I'm seeing from Lad McConkey. He's, I just don't think he's going to be elite this year because I don't think they're going to pass the ball enough. But I
Right.
like the direction that we're going. QJ is going to be hit or miss. He had a really good game. I just don't think the passing volume is going to be there enough. We talked a lot about J.K. Dobbins. He fits a role. He's top 5 fantasy back right now. I think he's number 3 or 4. But I don't believe this is rest of year.
I
I
don't either.
don't
It's just
believe
so
it.
hard to buy it.
It's so hard to buy it.
It's
This man's
exciting.
going to get injured. I never want to say injury prone. I hate saying that, but like he defines injury prone, bro. Like there is not another player in football that defines injuries the way he does. And man, he's looking good hitting that hole. But yeah, I'm firing up the running backs. I don't know what we're doing with Gus Edwards. I'm not going to fire him up until JK starts being a little slower, but I am definitely firing up. Um, oh my gosh. Running back.
Oh,
Pittsburgh, what's wrong
Najee.
with me?
Najee and Ward.
Najee, thank you. I'm going to fire up Najee and just go full T on this one, even though the
Yeah.
Chargers D is pretty good. If you got Najee on your team, I don't know how you do it, but I'm not starting Jalen Warren until I see something, more touches from him.
Okay, I like that move. This
Are
game
you
is so gross.
Bucks Broncos? I'm completely out on the Broncos. I think I've said that the last couple of weeks. I love the heart we're seeing from Bo Nix, but heart only gets you so far as a rookie, and this team sucks.
Dude, oh my goodness, I did this in the listener league, so this looks even more bozoic than ever. Um, I have Kenneth Walker. I am trying to compete, right? Kenneth Walker goes down. Now playing week 2. I did not love what I saw from Charbonnet. He, okay, let me start saying this. I needed to replace Walker, right? I needed a running back to put in my lineup. I had a second I was willing to spend. I said, okay, who can I target for the second? I started with Jordan Mason. That wasn't enough, obviously. Fair. Something kept telling me, please just go get Charbonnet. He's the backup. He's the direct backup. Just get Charbonnet. But last year, I did not love what he had to do, what he was doing. So I said, nope, I'm not going to get him. I'm going to go to I'm gonna go to Jaleel McLaughlin. I actually spent a second on Jaleel McLaughlin. That move was so stupid, dude. Um, do not like. I don't think any of these backs are worth it. Honestly, I don't even think you should spend a third on freaking Javante if you need him. If you- just there's other ways to look. This the point is this backfield ain't it. That's the whole point.
The offense sucks. I don't want to invest, especially for this year, in an offense that isn't going to score touchdowns.
True.
But, but in a rebuild, the team that you just were talking about with Tony Pollard that may get it, may not get it. Can you turn Tony Pollard into Audric Estime in a second?
Oh, possibly. Possibly. That sounds good, but it's going to be a estimate is a hard sell, dude. It's like you said, this offense is having a hard time scoring, bro. It looks ugly. It's plays ugly. It has a Sean Payton situation. Ugh. It's going
It's
to be
going to be
hard.
better next year, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be better next year. And that's why
I hope.
Audric Estime is the only one I'm buying right now.
Oh, well. Well, you
I
might
have a
get him
soft
for
spot in
free.
my heart for him.
You might get him for free, bro. Hey, when the pod loves a guy, do what you can because he cannot be cheaper anytime soon. So, or any cheaper than this in the future. So go get you some estimate.
I agree. Buccaneers, man, I love what I'm seeing. To our listeners, I apologize about my Chris Godwin take last week. Smitty, you were so right. I was so wrong. This is a rest of year thing. Baker ain't going away. This is happening. Go invest in this offense. Any which way you see it, there are going to be fantasy production, not including Kate Auden, because it is
Oh,
crystal clear he has no part in this offense. He may get you negative points like he got you last week, which, I mean, it's mind blowing when someone gets negative points. A defense, yes, but an actual player getting negative points is ridiculous. But Baker, man, I love what I'm seeing from this offense. We talked Rashad White last week. He did not look good because of injury. I'm investing in Rashad White. I understand you got Bucky Irving there, but I'm investing in this man. This is a team that's going to compete the rest of the year, and they're going to rely on their dogs. And I do think Rashad White's a dog. I think now's the time you go get him.
yep. I kind of wish I would have used my second plus to get Rashawn White. That would have been the play.
Yeah, that would be a really good trade. Couple seconds out there. I mean, obviously, if you're getting White, you're on a team that's like, you know what, I'm going for it right now. But in a PPR format, that guy can catch the football. I mean, he catches the football.
Mhm.
So that's what I look for. But you know what? Redraft, man, we got to start thinking about firing a Baker Mayfield in there. He's a pretty decent quarterback. This might be this is going to be on the ground. This game's going to be all on the ground. I don't see him having 3 or 4 touchdowns, but fire up your running backs. Um, oh, Panthers Raiders. This one's fun.
Panthers
Poor,
Raiders. Ooh.
poor Bryce. Actually, it's not poor Bryce. I don't feel bad for him. He sucks on the football field. His coach comes out on, I see a sleeper quote that says, Bryce Young's our guy. Within like 10 minutes, breaking news, Bryce Young has been benched.
Tough. Tough. That is,
So, did you see the sleeper today when the fan was saying, Bryce, come sign this? And he signed, he's like, keep your head up, Bryce. The fan told Bryce that.
Imagine being picked number 1 overall just for a fan to have to cheer you up like that. Tough. He I'm sorry, I didn't see that. That's actually I would lose it if I saw that.
Go find it on Sleeper after this. But I said I was out on Bryce. I am out on Bryce. But
That's tough.
redraft. Sometimes no risk and no biscuit, right? Sometimes you've got to take chances in this game. And if I'm sitting back, I'm saying, you know what? All right, this offense has sucked. They can't move the football. They haven't been able to run because of that. Veteran quarterbacks coming in that I don't expect to be elite, but I expect them to be able to pass the football. I'm looking at Deontay Johnson. I'm looking at Chuba Hubbard. I'm looking at some of these options, and I'm like, I got to take a chance somewhere that maybe Andy Dalton actually moves the offense and actually score some points. I don't expect him to win, but score some points. You might want to think about investing into that just in case. And this is more redraft than dynasty because dynasty, this is a mess. Andy Dalton isn't the future there. But I think we should take some chances. And I think DJ might be a target machine for Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even thinking like just put Leggett on your bench and see what, or Leggett on your bench and see what happens. You're right. These are all dart throws at this point. Offense is so god awful, but at the very least, Chuba's going to be a bit better.
Can you say that one more time? Because I need this to be the case for our Liga record.
I just see Dalton being a competent dump offer, like a competent guy that'll competently dump the ball off to Hubbard, and that's probably where the best value is.
So I made a transaction in a redraft league today, and I want your opinion on this one. I kicked Leggett off of my team, kicked him to waivers, and I added Josh Downs instead of him.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, good. I was thinking about that, and as I'm talking about A-Rich and you're hating on him, I'm like, ooh, did I do the wrong thing? So I got an inbox trade offer right now that just came through. Redraft, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Zach Moss. I send Zach Moss, and I get Khalil Shakir. This is a full point PPR. Let me pull up my roster. That's on a $50 auction. Blah 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 blah. Thinking about accepting this,
Dude. For my immediate thoughts is I'd rather have Khalil Shakir, but I think
this isn't even a question.
He is in the lineup. I think that Zach Moss play is going to be so much better.
Do you? So here's my running backs: Kyron Williams, James Conner, Zach Moss. Oh crap! I only have 2. No, I'm not accepting this one. My wide receivers are, you're going to like this team. Sun God, Malik Neighbors, Tank Dell, Xavier Worthy, T. Higgins, and Romeo Dobbs right now. Nah, I'm not going to accept that. I don't.
Yeah, you might as well keep Zach Moss. Because I honestly do think that Zach Moss is going to be a little better off when they get T. I don't know. I actually really don't know. Because I just think of Joe Mixon, and honestly and obviously, Moss ain't Mixon, but God, we got the best of him when everything was clicking. I'm just waiting.
I don't want to do that trade just for this week because I think I'm going to start Zach Moss this week. Let's just jump into that matchup. Bengals Commanders. Start anybody that's playing for the Bengals, especially the running backs. I think Zach Moss will lead the running back room there. But if T isn't out, Yasiova, Isiava, Yoshi, whomever just got like 15 targets. It wasn't that many, but it was a lot. But I'm firing up everybody in that from the Bengals, and I'm starting nobody other than B-Rob and Jaden Daniels for his rushing.
Dude, I mean, all Jaden Daniels can do at this point is rush. Like dude, that guy, that corner for the Bengals, that one-handed catch is so terrifying. I spent all offseason just saying, dude, the Bengals defense is worse, it's bad, it's awful. I don't know. This guy came out of nowhere, in my opinion. So I'm going to respect their secondary just for that guy. And I just predict this being a only run type of game. So sorry, McLaurin. Sorry, dude. Sorry, Eckler. I mean, this game's going to be a little ugly on the Commander side. So my goodness, I cannot wait to see Chase ball out.
I want to turn Joe Burrow into JD5 in a dynasty format. On my team.
My God. This will be the game, bro. This will be the game. Wow.
How do I get that done? What do I get? So I'm going to send Joe Burrow and I'm going to get JD5 and I'm going to get something. Is JD5 in a first? Yeah, dude.
You think so? I mean, yeah, because Burrow's gonna have a vintage game for sure. God, what can you get? What can you get?
Bro, people have been holding this Joe Burrow name for so long, and it's not going to go away. Oh, his weapons. He's got Chase. Oh, he's in a good scheme. He's a great quarterback. But I don't know how many times on this pod I just talk about how do I tear down from Joe Burrow everywhere. Like, I mean, that's all I talk about. So if you have an inbox offer for Jaden Daniels and a first for Joe Burrow, are you taking it? Let's say it's a mid first round pick because I am.
I would much rather have JD5 in the first. Oh my God, I would love that for Burrow.
Yeah.
Is that the type of trade that goes on? Well, I mean, I'm blown away by that. Yeah, I would, I would honestly be worried of a veto police because that sounds
Would
amazing.
you?
Yeah, I do. And I do understand that JD5 is not having the greatest season. He looks pretty bad in the air, but that
He's 2 weeks
running,
into
like
his
we
career.
love a running quarterback as a community, as a fantasy community, and it's just too valuable. I don't see that trade happening. I think that's too good. If that's the case though,
Do you own Joe Burrow anywhere? Because I've already teared down on every team that
I
I have
have
Joe
him
Burrow
in
on.
one more place, in
Will you
one more
try to
league.
send that trade? Because I'm willing to bet you that the manager accepts that and is happy and is like, man, I just screwed that guy.
Hey, I'm about to do it right now. Well, I mean, not now, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna let you know how it goes.
Yeah,
Cause
listeners, let me know how that goes because I'm curious and I'm curious everyone's thoughts. DM me, you guys. If I'm dropping this in my leagues, you know me, B Arms 2020. All right, let's jump back up. We got Panthers Raiders. We talked about. I'm not really. I'm trying not to start anybody from the Panthers because I like the Raiders defense. But the
right,
Raiders, man, I'm firing them all up except for the quarterback. I think this is a Zamir White game. I think
yes,
he finally is going to add value to your team. I'm definitely starting Brock Bowers. I'm definitely starting Devontae Adams. Um, Panthers are
yeah.
going to be. Can you imagine if the Panthers win with Andy Dalton? That would be nuts. That'd be nuts.
That would be so sad, dude. There would be even more people saying, "Keep your head up, Bryce."
Keep your head up,
That's
Bryce. I
what's
love that. All right, this is one we need to talk about. Dolphins Seahawks. Tua's not there.
up.
Skylar Thompson's going to get the start, I believe. They signed Huntley, but it looks like Skylar's getting the start at least for this week. Seahawks are 2-0. I don't know how you don't play Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle if he's on your team. I can't imagine you're having a better option than
I
that
can
on
think
your
of better
squad.
options than Waddle. I mean, I'm just not in love with Waddle. I'm really trying not to overreact it by not starting Hill, but you're right. Hill's a dog. He's gonna get it done no matter what. Forget that 6 point game he got. Which, dude, by the way, what in the earth? Like when Tua was healthy, Hill was barely targeted. That was such a weird play for. I mean, I guess it was all A chain. Shout out to Devon, but goodness, I did not like Tua's use. I mean, I did not like Hill's usage when Tua was healthy last game. I really did. That was kind of disrespectful to Tyreek Hill, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, outside that 180, that one bomb to Tyreek Hill, and he had a good one to Waddle in the first week as well. But they haven't looked that great. But all right, let me run down some receivers here. Let's Darnell Mooney or Jalen Waddle in this game with Skylar Thomas.
Goodness, I am tempted, but I respect the Chiefs defense, so I'm gonna have to go Waddle.
Okay, Demarcus Robinson or Jalen Waddle.
Waddle.
Okay, let's
You know what?
go
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so I'm
Kobe Myers or Jalen Waddle.
Waddle for sure. Ooh, but that matchup though. Waddle. Okay, I guess I'm not
Okay,
as bad as I thought.
Raheed Shaheed or Jalen Waddle. I mean, I think that's
All
an
right,
easy.
sorry. That's a quick Raheed. That's a Raheed for me.
Okay, Michael Pittman or Jalen Waddle.
You got me there. You got me there.
I'm flipping a coin. I don't want to give advice on that one. You
Yeah,
guys, you guys can figure out what danger you want to play there. No one's throwing the ball right.
Waddle's not
I'm
that bad.
probably going Jalen Waddle. Roma Doomsday or Jalen Waddle.
Oh my God! Now that is fantastic, and I'm gonna have to go Rome. I'm just gonna. No, I'm not. I'm going Waddle. I am. I am. I'm going Waddle.
Okay, so I just think I proved the point that you're starting Jalen Waddle. I don't think you have better options.
Yeah.
um, Seahawks, man. Obviously, you're firing up DK. My only hope here is the Dolphins could put up enough points that keeps the Seahawks throwing the football for their wide receivers. But I'm definitely going to fire up the running back. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
all
probably
right.
going to bench Geno. Um, I'm sure I've got another better quarterback than Geno, because I don't think, I mean, this has a 41 and a half point implied total, but I see this being a lower scoring game, and the Seahawks are probably just going to drain the clock down.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Dang, man, it just sucks. Like if I knew Kenneth Walker was healthy and playing, he would be a smash start to me. But I don't know. I think we might get one more decent JSN game because we're about to have one of those classic DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey games, and those can be rough. So this might be another JSN type of week.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm about ready to say this.
Oh,
You know, he's my favorite player.
oh no, what's gonna happen?
I think whether or not I'm rebuilding or I'm going all in this year, I think I'm actually out on Tyreek Hill, and I think I want to try to get a different option, a better option. And I think I actually might sell him to a team that I think is my competitor and try to drop half of Tyreek Hill's production that he normally gets on his squad, and I replicate production elsewhere. I'm worried. This is an older wide receiver. He doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, maybe Skylar Thompson can do something. Maybe he can, but look at. I actually don't want the risk. I want to de-risk Tyreek Hill off my team because his value could plummet in the next 3 weeks, dude. And I'm not sure Tua's coming back. He says he is. I'm not sure, dude. Do you think Tua comes back?
I do actually. I think he wants to come back, and that's enough for me. Is Yeah, he's going to be back. He's going to be back. He's going to play. They're just not going to make it to the playoffs, unfortunately.
So do you want to go buy Tua on a dynasty team? Because you can do that pretty cheap
No,
right now.
no, but I feel like this is like the one time I can because I don't know. Tua's price has always been so weird to me. It's always been too much. It's always been out of reach for what I'm willing to buy. And now he's finally at the area I want to get him at. But no, I think I've just seen too many of those crazy concussive hits. It's I hate to be doing this again, but I'm just out because of the injuries.
I've been out for 2 years because of that. Because if it happened again, I was afraid he's going to retire. But I've seen some cheap trades. I've seen him acquired for a second. I
Oh,
do believe
what?
2 sec. Yes, dude.
I'm willing.
Like
Okay, that's a price I'm totally gonna do.
that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say 2 second rounders or whatever to go get the possibility of a starting quarterback that he comes back and plays 2 more years. Like, I'm in on that price, but I think it's cheap enough. And if I lose the second round picks, I mean, usually they're going to bust anyway. Like, this is what liquidity's for.
Okay. I know exactly I need to do a play like that. So, yeah,
I'm
cool.
not sending a first. I'm not taking that risk because I can use that liquidity elsewhere to get a quarterback.
Yeah, that's the price I was afraid of.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that, but something that's with seconds and something I can stomach. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, man, I can't believe I'm so sickened about that injury. All right, Ravens Cowboys. Um
Love this
Cowboys,
rivalry.
they both need to get right game here. Um 48 and a half implied point total. I have the Ravens winning this football game.
Same.
Baltimore is favored by 1, so I mean that's about as close as it gets. Um you know what I'm really doing right now?
Let's hear it.
Double down, baby. Go buy Rico
I
Dowdle
thought you were talking about
right. Oh
Vince.
no, that's my star of the week. Isaiah Likely. I don't need to talk about him anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, go by Rico Dowdle. I saw a little change in that backfield. Rico came out as a starter. Um, Zeke was a third running back to touch the ball. He was under 3 yards a carry, and he looked like when he was in New England last year. I think Rico's about to take over the backfield here, and I think you can still buy him incredibly cheap for the possibility. And if it doesn't happen, who cares? He was cheap enough to regardless. I've actually been thinking about starting Rico in DFSs this week. I
I
think
thought of
like
it as
this
well.
might be the week he gets a touchdown.
I feel it because I just think about what Pacheco was able to do against them, and I mean Rigo's no Pacheco, but at the end of the day, good running back and get it done. So I see that. I see him being startable this week. Flexible this week. I see him being flexible.
We have to be flexible enough to change our opinions sometimes. I talked about that with JMO at week 1.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People need to go buy Zay Flowers, dude.
You know what?
He's having elite uh percentage of that offense.
No, yeah,
Elite.
for sure. And I can't, I don't disagree. It's just I'm not comfortable putting him in a wide receiver two slot on a start in a lineup. Cause I feel like the ceiling is 15 at maximum, which is, fine. Sometimes you're playing a guy that gets you 10. Maybe you have injuries. Oh my goodness. You know what? Honestly, for a team with Cup, yeah, that's kind of a good move. You just lost Cup. You just lost Debo. You just lost, 50 million players, honestly. Yeah, I'm okay with that move, actually.
Yeah, and I think you could pencil him in for 10 targets a week, to be honest with you. In if the game script is right, with the right matchups.
Hmm.
I really like what I'm seeing from Zay, and I don't think he's going to be look at the a top 6 wide receiver. Don't get me wrong, but if you're in a PPR, you gotta go get it. He's who on the offense I want to own. I'm trying to tear off of Derrick Henry, especially if I'm rebuilding.
Really? Oh, yeah,
And by
for
the way,
sure.
we did a nice little trade that did that. I think we went over it last week. I'm sorry about Cooper Cup, man. Like I feel bad.
I mean, hey, look, I had Cooper Cup everywhere. If it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen. But his week one was incredible. His week one was incredible. So I don't blame it. I
Yeah.
don't blame you at all.
But Derrick Henry's on pace for 17 touchdowns this year. I said I think he's going to get 20. Um, but but
If this offense knows what's up, then 20 should be easy.
yeah, but
Honestly.
he does need to be off your squad if you're rebuilding. I think for someone that really is starting hot, I think he's a great asset. I I would not doubt if he gets a touch in every game he plays, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And that's the price you're buying him for. You're
Yeah,
buying
no, I
for him for
totally agree.
outside top 12 RBs. Cowboys start Fergie, go buy Fergie. I love Fergie. We don't need to talk about Lamb. That's just stupid if you don't. There's no reason to tear off a Lamb. Go get Lamb, try to tear up from Lamb if you have G Willie, that type of
Ooh.
round two wide receivers. Um, let's just get off this game and go to the real game of the week for you. 49ers, Rams. Um,
Oh man, this is the biggest Mason game you'll ever see. Honestly, this might be such a massive Mason game. People might be willing to sell CMC just because of how incredible Mason's going to come off by the end of this week. I mean, Jesus Christ. The We saw it with Connor, right? We saw it with Demont. We saw it with Gibbs a bit. But yeah, this is like a running backs. This is a running back target type of team. Always target with the running backs, always target Rams. Shoot, with their receivers, always target Rams. Kittle's gonna have a game, bro. Kittle's gonna have a game. This might be Ayuk's get bounce back.
yep.
This might really be the Ayuk bounce back game, which is gonna piss me off, but it's okay. It's okay. I have an understanding of what's going on, and I have to accept it.
I am definitely firing up Brandon Ayuk in a lot of DFS lineups this week. He
Ooh,
is
good move.
He, I think he's a good play this week. You look at he sat out all the training camps, so it doesn't surprise me he started off slow, but he should be their go-to option. Him and Jordan Mason, you're firing both up. We talked Jordan Mason on what to do with that but the Rams.
I mean, eh, look for those, and I know there's not many, but for those who believe that Kyron Williams was gonna be kind of like a RB1 type of deal, bell cow type of deal, he's gonna be the offense because you're not gonna see any consistency from Tyler Johnson. We just signed Quentin Cephas. I mean, what the Quez Cephas? Weird. I don't know. Moving on from that, we have Whittington, who's just the passing game. Though we still have Stafford, is going to be a bit of a mess. Um, the offense, the one thing you can bet on is for Kyron to actually have a decent to amazing workload.
So Whittington, I want to spend some
Whittington.
time talking about him. If you play in a league with myself or Smitty, he is not available because he's on one of our teams. 100% he's rostered for one of us. No one else is rostered in any of our leagues. He's the guy I want to take a shot on because he's the guy that I
Like
saw
in your
run
lineup.
that jet sweep for the touchdown that got called back that said,
Ugh.
oh, McVay is going to force some touches to him. But that's the type of dynasty, you know, player I want to take a chance on. Like, because I don't know what his upside could be. and don't fact check me. I don't know what the average targets for Cooper Cup and Puka are, on how many they're getting a game on the field together. But I think it's safe to say that there's at least 20 targets vacated from this offense right now that has to go to somebody. And I think we know what Demarcus Robinson is as a player.
For sure.
I want to take the chance on the ceiling that of Winnington of what if? What if Sean McVay can do his little magic dust on him?
Oh man, you know what? I'm sorry. I walked into this matchup completely defeated, completely sad and upset. But you're absolutely right. So thank you for that. Matthew Stafford is still healthy. The O line they're gonna have to work with, but this is valuable for Whittington's development. So this is the best absolute time to buy Whittington while the team looks like a complete loss.
And I'm telling you, on my team, I am not selling him because you're not going to give me the price of the possibility of a ceiling. Like I'm not selling him. He's just going to sit there, and he's about ready to move off of my taxi squad in all my leagues here after this
That
week.
was such a scary decision for me to make. Oh man. I
It
think I got
pissed
him
me
off
off when I
all
went to
over.
go at him after rookie drafts in all of my leagues, and I was like, "Ah, Smitty, jerk, you jerk." All right, Chiefs Falcons. Just fire up everybody. Fire up
Oh,
everybody but Kirk Cousins.
this is the Sunday night football game. Oh my goodness, we're about to see primetime Kirk once again. And what's so exciting is Pitts is gonna have a game, dude. Like this will be the sell Pitts game.
Do you think so? Because a red alarm alert is ringing with Kyle Pitts.
Oh, for
I
sure,
mean,
for sure.
he looks like the same dude he's looked like that hasn't produced in Arthur Smith's offense. And I don't understand why. And maybe the offense just, got going a little bit. Um, there's a lot of people that really hate having Kyle Pitts on their team right now. And when I say a lot of people, I mean anybody that has Kyle Pitts on their team right now.
Okay, yeah, I totally understand that. Chiefs, they really could be had when it comes to tight ends. They just are not ready to defend them yet. Uh, I'm just really thinking of I think this will be a cool like if he does like have a good game, which he should, Kyle Pitts, try to sell him or try to turn him into Njoku. Try to turn him into Kincaid if he has another bad week. I would even try to turn him into Kelsey because I can see Kelsey just not having a great game again. I don't know. Well, actually, let's not buy Kelsey. Let's not do that.
Bro, you can turn Pitts into Njoku plus. And that's a trade that I'd be doing all day long. You know how I feel when Njoku gets back. I think he's got tight end one potential on points
Mm-hmm.
per game the rest of the year when he gets back. I
Yep.
think he's going to get 10 targets a game, dude.
Yeah, and Joe. I mean, I can't wait to see it. Honestly, I can't wait to see it. It's just get back healthy, man. Come back soon. We need you. The Browns need you.
Yeah, we do, man. Get your sexy butt back on the field. Last game, Jaguars Bills. Oh boy. Jaguars need to get right game, and I just don't think it's going to be against the Bills. Bills have they have an elite defense. I believe they have an elite defense. Um, I think the Jaguars need to get through this game, and there's going to be better days ahead. I know you sold ETN. He might be somebody I'm looking at buying after this game because his price I think is about to get cheaper. I hope not because in league of record I need him to smash. But this is gonna be a hard game for the Jags.
I actually don't think so. I am willing to do water bet here.
Oh, is this our water bet? All right,
This is going to be the water bet
I'll
game.
take Bills. I'll
Okay,
take
yeah,
Bills.
because I feel like this is, dude. I don't know. I mean, did the Bills look great last week? Yes, yes, they did. But come on, it's time to turn it up. It's time to turn up. Brenton Strange. I know that's an awkward player to even mention because of Evan Ingram being down, but he might have something because he was useful last week. So I feel like this team's going to get all right. Be all right. I'm excited for BTJ. I'm. I think more than anybody, Trevor Lawrence needs this game. He really does. He really does. So I feel like
It's been a
he.
bad year for him. A really
Yeah. Oh
bad
my
year.
God, it is, isn't it?
Like it has to really suck being a Jaguars fan right now. Like it's just one of those because I'm telling you, this is supposed to be a level up year,
Yep.
and this is a level down year for everybody
Mm.
except for Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, he was a rookie. He's looking pretty decent. Brian Thomas Jr. can be an elite wide receiver in this game.
Oh, I see it. I see the path so clearly.
Would you turn Roma Doomsday into Brian Thomas Jr.? Because I'm really thinking about that.
Yes, yes, and I'm really trying to think of there's a lot of players I would try to turn into Brian Thomas Jr. Like honestly, I'm blanking so bad right now. I'm trying to think of last year's rookies.
I'm willing to bet you, if you look at all the wide receiver rankings, I'm willing to turn everybody but probably 14 to 16 wide receivers into him.
And I think the number is much smaller. I mean, 14 to
Probably
16.
is.
I'm really sitting here thinking 12, but I really can't name them at this moment. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get back to that on next week when I hopefully don't get wet because I believe this is the bounce back. I don't think Cook is gonna have a game, but I don't know.
Let's do
I
it.
just feel really good.
We got 2 minutes. Let's do it. Drake London or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Oh my God, that's a great one. I'm gonna have to go London here. I'm gonna have to go London.
I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. and a piece because that's what I believe I'll get on that trade.
Oh, for sure.
Brandon Ayuk or Brian Thomas Jr. because I'm taking
Oh,
Brian Thomas
please
Jr.
give
and a
me Brian
piece.
Thomas Jr. Dude, you might be able to get Brian Thomas Jr. into piece.
Mm-hmm.
For Ayuk.
DK Metcalf. I would be
Oh.
very happy.
Oh,
That's depending if I'm going all in or if I'm in it this year. But that's a sneaky trade that I'd be okay turning DK into Brian Thomas Jr.
I would even consider doing that in a contending team as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. George Pickens or Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay, let's go. I'm assuming we want to turn Michael Pittman Jr. into Brian Thomas Jr.
For sure. I think that's my favorite one, actually. That's my favorite move to do. If you could do it, please give that a shot.
Jamo Williams or Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, God, you got me there.
Because now you're giving up a piece to get Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep, and that's what makes it. That's what makes it ugly. I'm out. I'm gonna go with JMO.
I'm not.
Crazy how the
I'm
Titans-
turning J-Mo into Brian Thomas Jr. I've done it. You know what?
You've
I was
done that?
wrong. He's better than I thought, but I think Brian Thomas Jr. can be elite. All right, we went 2 minutes over. Sorry about that, everyone. Thanks for listening, and appreciate you following us. Let us know what you want to hear. We're down to give the people anything they want. Hit us up. BArms 2020, Smitty Satao over here. You know us in all your leagues. Anything you want to say before we get out of here, Smitty?
Week 3. Hopefully, there's no injuries. At least minimal. At least.
Yep. And if we do get injuries, can it please be on the defensive side of the ball?
I love that.
All right, man. Good luck, everybody, week 3.